Namaskar, good morning. I'm Dr. Mukesh Parik and I'm live with another class. Before we begin, let us have some prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hello, dear friends. Let us start with another lecture on Shakespeare, because Shakespeare is such a vast writer that I cannot complete him with 2 or 3 lectures, or say 5 or 6 lectures. But I'll try my level best, to control myself, to restrain myself, and give you techniques and ideas and methods so that you people can study without me also and crack this exam, NET and JRF. At the outset, I would like to ask the students who really want to take admission in my institute and want to buy study material, want to take the online classes admission, they should contact me. I have given you the contact number. And today I'll be asking you to visit my blog on my website, www.mukeshparik.com, because I will keep uploading certain material there also for the help of the students. Now let us begin. Are you ready with your copies and pen? Your notebooks are ready? Because I'll be giving you many factual details today. So, if we talk about the dramas of Shakespeare, we should know one thing, that these division of the acts was not, the contribution of Shakespeare. It was, later on divided into the acts by the later writers, or say collect the people who collected his plays. So in the next class, I'll be talking about the folios, how many folios are there, what are corrupt folios and other things. But today, write down one thing, that the 2 plays which are considered to be the most famous plays with the court people. For example, Queen Elizabeth, here and there different, information is spread, but the most important play is Love's Labour's Lost. Write down, Love's Labour's Lost. Friends, there is a grammatical error also in the title of this play, Love's Labour's Lost, because mostly we don't have 2 apostrophes, together in continuation of 2 words in English, except few cases. But this is grammatically wrong. Love's Labour's Lost, and the other play is Comedy of Errors. These were the 2 plays, Comedy of Errors and Love's Labour's Lost, which had many, many, many performances in the court. And it is said that Queen Elizabeth used to pay a huge amount, to the company of Shakespeare. And second important factual thing, because I'll be covering many things today which will make you solve certain questions there. And it is said that Shakespeare participated in the plays also, like he was an actor. So he played the part of the ghost of Senior Hamlet in Hamlet. He played the part of ghost. उसने भूत का रोल अदा किया था शेक्सपियर ने हैमलेट के अंदर. And second important part was he played Adam in As You Like It. As you all know that As You Like It is a very important play, where I would just talk about the story later on, because as I have already told you that I'll be restricting myself to certain factual things. आप लोग लाइक करते जाइए और मुझे यस तो बोलिए, so that I can see that you people are really attending the lecture. So these are two parts of information from my side, that Shakespeare participated in 2 plays or acted in 2 plays. They can ask you this question: Ghost in Hamlet, वो भूत बना था, आपको पता है हेमलेट की कहानी. And second one is Adam. Adam is the very loyal, aged servant in As You Like It, who also goes into the forest of Arden with our hero. Okay, so these are 2 important. Third is that Shakespeare, कई बार, in many times, I keep telling my students that Shakespeare was, can be a role model in so many senses. क्योंकि हम we Indians, we believe in different ashrams. For example, brahmacharya ashram, grahast ashram, vanprasth ashram, and sannyas ashram. So you will be surprised that that much successful a playwright. He had a very vibrant career. But at the age of 52, his health deteriorated. It is said that his health deteriorated later on, but he shifted to his village, Stratford at Avon. He bought a house there, new house. Its name was New House, and at age of 52 he shifted. ओके तो मैं what I was telling you, why I digressed that, कि कई बार होता है ना कि when you are successful और आप उसी वक्त अपने आप को समेट लो and you start living your life. I think Shakespeare was that kind of person. Okay, so at the age of 52 he shifted to his village, और वहाँ पे उसको दो जने मिलने गए थे. उनके नाम आप लिख लीजिए. They can ask you this question. एक तो माइकल ड्रेटन, DRAYTON, Michael Drayton, and Ben Jonson. They used to go there to cheer Shakespeare because it is said that his health deteriorated, Shakespeare's health. This is third information in today's lecture. Fourth information के वैसे आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि Shakespeare has created many twin figures in his plays. जैसे Twelfth Night है और भी बहुत सारे plays हैं. तो ऐसा कहा जाता है कि उसके 3 बच्चे थे और एक उसके जुड़वा भी बच्चे हुए थे, लड़का और लड़की. लड़के का नाम था हैमनेट, नॉट हैमलेट, हैमनेट. सो उनकी जो 2 लड़कियां हु सर्वाइव्ड, उनमें एक का नाम था जूडिथ और दूसरी का नाम था सुजाना. तो सुजाना के बारे में ये क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं दैट सुजाना जो शेक्सपियर की डॉटर थी, शी वॉज एज इंटेलिजेंट एज शेक्सपियर, बिकॉज यू नो दैट इट वॉज अ पेट्रियार्कल वर्ल्ड. So women were not allowed to write, or say they were not encouraged to write, because she married to a physician. I think that is not important for us. तो वो उनको काफ़ी अच्छा शेयर भी मिला था, and she I think inherited that house which Shakespeare built. Okay, and उसके बाद आपको एक चीज़ और बताता हूँ. Just a minute. Okay, I forgot to off the bell of this phone, so sorry for the interruption of the messages and all. अच्छा, अभी एक और क्वेश्चन बनता है जो मैंने कई जगह पढ़ा है, बट दे मे आस्क यू दिस क्वेश्चन कि व्हेन शेक्सपियर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड हिज प्रॉपर्टी, तो व्हाट ही गेव टू हिज वाइफ. तो ये बहुत इंटेलिजेंट क्वेश्चन तो नहीं है, बट आई हैव रेड इट इन मेनी डिफरेंट बुक्स एंड आई होप लाइक एनी प्रोफेसर कैन आस्क यू दिस क्वेश्चन इन नेट ऑल्सो. ऐसा कहा जाता है कि हिज सेकेंड बेस्ट बेड एंड इट्स फर्नीचर, शेक्सपियर ने अपनी वाइफ को सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट जो बड़ा महंगा एक बेड था और अपना फर्नीचर था, वो उसने अपनी बीवी के नाम किया था. दिस इज नॉट अ केस इन इंडिया, यू मस्ट बी अवेयर अबाउट. एक मैं आपको एक इंटेलिजेंट चीज बताता हूं. देखो, एक लॉ है जिसको बोलते हैं प्राइमोजेनिचर लॉ. आप लिख लीजिए प्राइमोजेनिचर, PRIMOGENITURE. प्राइमोजेनिचर क्या होता है? जैसे आपने नोटिस किया होगा, हमारे यहाँ भी है इंडिया में, कि जब पिताजी की डेथ हो जाती है, व्हेन फादर डाइज, तो सबसे बड़े लड़के को एक सेरेमनी होती है जिसमें पगड़ी पहनाई जाती है, पगड़ी की रस्म बोलते हैं. सो वो जो प्रॉपर्टी है वो सारी मिलती है उसको, लेकिन देन अल्टीमेटली इट इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इक्वली इन ऑल द ब्रदर्स, और आजकल सिस्टर्स में भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होती है. बट इन क्रिश्चियनिटी एंड जो जूडियो क्रिश्चियन जो ट्रेडिशन है, उसमें प्राइमोजेनिचर का लॉ है. ये प्राइमोजेनिचर का लॉ कई बार आपको पूछ सकते हैं, बिकॉज द राइटर ऑन विच आई डिड माई PhD, मार्गरेट लॉरेंस, शी इज़ अ कैनेडियन राइटर. उसके जो नॉवल हैं, उसमें एक नॉवल का नाम है जो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके एग्जाम के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. 3 बार नेट में क्वेश्चन आया उस पर, द स्टोन एंजल, रिटन बाय कैनेडियन राइटर मार्गरेट लॉरेंस. लॉरेंस की स्पेलिंग है LAURENCE. तो उसमें एक क्वेश्चन ये आता है, बिकॉज वो लास्ट में अपने बड़े लड़के के साथ में रहती है व्हेन शी बिकम्स ओल्ड. तो मैं ऐसे ही आपको थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा जानकारी दे रहा हूँ कि अपने यहाँ पर ऐसा नहीं होता है कि जब हम व्हेन वी मेक अवर विल एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट अवर प्रॉपर्टी, देन वी डोंट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट लाइक कि मेरी ये बुक उसको मिले, ये वाला लैंप उसको मिले, ये बेड उसको मिले, ये चेयर उसको मिले. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट इन इंडियन कल्चर. But in English culture, it's so. And when we read novels in depth, and we come to know about the English culture, because without knowing English culture, I think we cannot develop an interest. And you all are going to be professors of English literature. So आप में एक liveness तभी आएगी वहाँ पे, live आप तभी होगे लेक्चर देते वक्त व्हेन यू आर वेरी मच अवेयर अबाउट देयर कल्चरल रिलीजियस ट्रेडिशंस एंड ऑल. सो दिस इज समथिंग एन इम्पॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन कि भाई उनके यहाँ पे प्राइमोजेनिचर का कॉन्सेप्ट है कि जो सबसे बड़ा होता है उसको सबसे बड़ा वो सारा प्रॉपर्टी का हिस्सा उसी को मिलता है. ओके. अच्छा, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है एज यू लाइक इट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी. अगर आपने एज यू लाइक इट देखा हो तो फादर जो है वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करके गए थे, लेकिन जो ज़्यादा बड़ा हिस्सा है वो बड़े वाले ब्रदर को मिलता है, और वो छोटा वाला हड़प लेता है उसको राजा के सेंस में, और जो ये फैमिली है द बॉयज़ की उनके अंदर. तो ये कभी और डिस्कस करेंगे. अभी आ जाते हैं नेक्स्ट पॉइंट पे. नाउ द ड्रामाज ऑफ शेक्सपियर, एज यू ऑल नो दैट ही हैड रिटन 37 प्लेज. तो उनको 4 पीरियड्स पे बांटा गया है. एंड देयर आर डिफरेंट स्टडीज वेयर डिफरेंट राइटर्स आर असाइंड दिस टास्क, लाइक कि इसने ये पीरियड डिवाइड किया है. बट आप अभी इतना लिख लीजिए कि उसकी जो 24 ईयर्स है प्रोडक्टिव, इसमें ही रोट ऑल द ड्रामाज. सो द फर्स्ट पीरियड इज 1588 to 1594. 1584 to 88 to 1594. और इसमें उसने मोस्टली लिखे हिस्ट्री प्लेज. तो उसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि आपको एक क्वेश्चन बीच बीच में दे गिव यू अ वन क्वेश्चन वेयर दे गिव यू द ड्रामाज एंड देन यू हैव टू पुट देम इनटू द सीक्वेंस. ओके. सो रोमियो एंड जूलियट, इट वाज written in 1592. As you all know that Romeo and Juliet is considered to be a very important tragedy, but not a mature tragedy. You should notice that, because he has not created that effect which he created later on in the third period. Okay. Merchant of Venice, again it was written in 1594. Love's Labour's Lost, 1591. The Comedy of Errors, as I earlier told you that these two plays were famous with the royal people. And Two Gentlemen of Verona. Write it down that because they can ask you this question, that Two Gentlemen of Verona. So they may ask you this, they have already asked you this question in net, what are the names of the two gentlemen. So उनके नाम लिख लीजिए आप लोग. एक का नाम है वैलेंटाइन और एक का नाम है प्रोटियस. The two gentlemen of this drama. Verona is the name of a city. So the whole story revolves around these two people, Valentine and Proteus. Clear? And then A Midsummer's Night Dream. I think in tomorrow's and day after tomorrow's lecture, I'll be touching upon these plays. A Midsummer's Night Dream. And in this first period, he also wrote the most famous history play, Henry VI. आपको एक important जानकारी देता हूँ. They can ask you sometimes. They ask you very typical questions. If you don't go into the depth, so you won't be able to answer. जैसे आपको नाम याद है, Joan of Arc किसको बोलते हैं? Joan of Arc किसको बोला जाता है, बताओ. जवाब दीजिए. आई विल वेट फॉर योर आंसर. हु इज नोन एज Joan of Arc? मालूम नहीं है. ठीक है. सेंट जॉन का नाम सुना है, सिंजन बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में. आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि उसके ऊपर इट्स हिस्ट्री प्ले बर्नार्ड शॉ रोट. But it is actually a girl who saved French people from the English attack. So 100 years of war में इसका रेफरेंस आता है. And जब हम शेक्सपियर की बात करते हैं, जब हम शेक्सपियर के प्लेस पढ़ते हैं, तो मोस्टली पीपल आर अवेयर दैट एक तो मैकबेथ में ही हैज टॉक्ड अबाउट विचेस, एंड सेकंड थिंग अबाउट सुपरनैचुरल थिंग्स ही हैज टॉक्ड अबाउट इन द अदर प्ले दैट इज हैमलेट. लेकिन हियर एंड देयर इन फॉर एग्जांपल रोमियो दिस what is the name, Julius Caesar also, there comes the reference of ghosts and all. तो आपको एक बात पता होनी चाहिए कि शेक्सपियर considered और से he has named Joan of Arc, जिसको सेंट जॉन भी बोला जाता है. शी वॉज अ फ्रेंच गर्ल एंड अल्टीमेटली she made the French people win, so English people were against that. Later on Vatican Church declared her a saint. तो उसका रेफरेंस आता है हेनरी सिक्स्थ प्ले में. ये आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन बनेगा, दैट इन विच ऑफ द हिस्ट्री प्लेज ऑफ शेक्सपियर देयर कम्स द रेफरेंस ऑफ Joan of Arc. And Joan of Arc is considered to be a witch, means there is a negative attitude. ये पता होना चाहिए हम सब लोगों को, because Joan of Arc, that girl who had supernatural powers and had manifestations, she belonged to France. Okay. So and she became the cause of the defeat of the English people. So obviously it's a very obvious question, and those who know a little bit history of these things may be able to answer. Joan of Arc was considered a witch, and witch is a negative, connotations are there. तो एक तो ये क्वेश्चन बन रहा है आपके लिए. Next, write down the second period, second productive period of Shakespeare. The dates are from 1594 to 1600. 1594, 1588 to 1594, and then 1594 to 1600. ये और भी productive period है. इसमें it is considered that Shakespeare found himself, that earlier he was writing under the influence of Marlowe. ओके, इट यूजुअली हैपन्स. एग्जाम्पल देके बताता हूँ. ऐसा कहा जाता है कि जब लता मंगेशकर फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में आई तो उनको ऐसे कहा गया कि पहली बार जब वो गई एक म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर के पास, तो उसकी आवाज़ को सुनकर उसने अपने कान बंद कर लिए कि कान फाड़ेगी क्या, कितना तीखा बोलती गाती है, मत गा. शमशाद बेगम की तरह गा. उस वक्त शमशाद बेगम जो थी, शी यूज टू सिंग इन द नेजल वॉइस, एंड तो बेचारी लता मंगेशकर को उनके स्टाइल में गाना पड़ा. एंड लेटर ऑन एक डायरेक्टर ने कहा कि तू अपनी अच्छी आवाज़ में गाना, उसकी आवाज़ को कॉपी क्यों कर रही है. सो यू विल बी सरप्राइज दैट इट हैपन्स इन एवरीबडीज लाइफ कि शेक्सपियर could have written the way he used to write, or say he had that capability of writing in a particular manner, but he could not write because I think certain things were famous on the stage, and जो trend चलता है लगभग शुरू में लोग उसको follow करते हैं, and later on they search their voice. So it is considered that in the second period, 1594 to 1600, Shakespeare found himself, he found his voice. और उसमें उसने जो एक बात का हमेशा ध्यान रखना है कि शेक्सपियर के ज़माने में कैसी ऑडियंस थी, what kind of audience was there. Those audience wanted to watch more nationalistic things, क्योंकि वो ऐसा कहा जाता है कि और कौन सी चीज़ आपको अट्रैक्ट करेगी. अभी एक उरी फिल्म आई थी, यू मस्ट हैव नोटिस्ड. जैसे हम इंडियंस हैं, आप अंदाज़ा लगा लीजिए कि जिस टाइप के हम कॉमन इंडियंस इस वक्त हैं, उस तरह के एलिजाबेथन एज के ऑडियंस हुआ करती थी. जैसे अभी कोई बहुत ज़्यादा रोमांटिक फिल्म आती है तो वो हिट हो जाती है, और बहुत ज़्यादा फैक्चुअल फिल्म है तो वो बहुत ही पर्टिकुलर क्लास में चली जाती है, जिसको हम ऑफ बीट सिनेमा बोलते हैं. ओके, जैसे तो ऐसा कहा जाता है कि शेक्सपियर हिज आर्ट लाइट इन कैशिंग द सेंटिमेंट्स ऑफ द कॉमन मासेस जो वहाँ पे देखने के लिए आते थे. तो जो हिस्ट्री प्लेस थे उनमें भी आप देखिए, ही इज नॉट रिप्रेजेंटिंग हिस्ट्री ऑफ द प्लेंटेजेंट किंग्स एज सच. He's giving all the spiciness in the dialogues. There are clowns in the play, there are queens, there are dances, there are songs. So but it is considered that somewhere he had documented the history in an artistic manner. तो उसमें हेनरी फोर्थ के 2 पार्ट्स बहुत फेमस है इनके सेकेंड पीरियड में, दैट इज 1594 to 1600. आप लोग कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दे रहे हैं, तो मुझे लग रहा है कि आज का लेक्चर आपको ठीक नहीं लग रहा है. आप लोग रिस्पॉन्स देते जाइए, यस बीच बीच में. अच्छा, अब आती है बात एक इंपॉर्टेंट प्ले आई वुड बी टॉकिंग अबाउट, हेनरी फिफ्थ. हेनरी फिफ्थ एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्ले है, और मैंने मन में सोचा है कि मैं आपको इसकी एक पर्टिकुलर स्पीच भी आज पढ़ के सुनाऊं. इफ यू आर रेडी देन से यस. आर यू देयर? हेनरी फिफ्थ, पहले तो लिख लीजिए हेनरी फिफ्थ, and then I'll be asking you to go to a particular place, and from there I'll be reading out the speech from this particular play. इस play के बारे में कहा गया है, Henry V is called National Anthem in 5 acts. तो ये क्वेश्चन आपको आ सकता है, National Anthem in 5 acts. National Anthem in 5 acts. लिख लिया? They're not responding today. इसका मतलब है आज जो रेगुलर स्टूडेंट्स है, दे आर नॉट वाचिंग मी. ओनली द पीपल हु जस्ट थंब थ्रू, दोज पीपल आर वाचिंग मी टुडे. नो प्रॉब्लम, दे मे वॉच मी लेटर ऑन. सो लेट मी फिनिश माई टास्क. देयर कम्स द रेफरेंस ऑफ टेनिस in this play, Henry V. So these 2 questions can be asked. First, there are too much nationalistic sentiments in Henry V, and this play is also called the National Anthem in 5 acts. And there comes the reference of the game tennis in this play. So these 2 questions can appear. Next question, let me give you the names of the plays. जैसे Taming of the Shrew, it was written in 1595. Merry Wives of Windsor. अब Merry Wives of Windsor से क्या क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं? Merry Wives of Windsor में they can ask you like, who are these merry wives? So उनके नाम लिख लीजिए. एक है मिस्ट्रेस फोर्ड, जैसे 2 जेंटलमैन ऑफ वेरोना में मैंने नाम बताए थे ना, वैलेंटाइन एंड प्रोटियस, ऐसे इनके नाम लिख लीजिए कि मैरी वाइफ्स ऑफ विंस्टर में द टू नेम्स ऑफ दीज हाउस वाइफ्स आर, वन इज मिस्ट्रेस फोर्ड FORD एंड सेकेंड इज मिस्ट्रेस पेज। ये क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं आपसे, ओके। एंड पढ़े आगे। एंड हेनरी फिफ्थ के बारे में एक चीज और बताता हूं। हेनरी फिफ्थ इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी द फाइनल प्ले इन द मोस्ट फेमस टेट्रोलॉजी। टेट्रोलॉजी में कौन कौन से प्लेस थे? रिचर्ड सेकंड थे। रिचर्ड सेकंड एक प्ले इन्होंने लिखा, बहुत फेमस है वो भी। हेनरी फोर्थ पार्ट 1, हेनरी फोर्थ पार्ट 2, 3 ये हो गए। एंड द फोर्थ पार्ट इज द हेनरी फिफ्थ। तो एक तो ये क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछ सकते हैं कि कौन सी टेट्रोलॉजी। टेट्रोलॉजी मीन्स कलेक्शन ऑफ 4 प्लेज इन सीक्वेंस। नेक्स्ट प्ले जो सेकेंड पीरियड में आता है, दैट इज मच अडो अबाउट नथिंग एंड एज यू लाइक इट, 1600 में it was written, and Twelfth Night. Both these two plays are very very famous, mostly taught all over the world. Okay, so these are the important plays in the second period of Shakespeare, which is considered to be that a period where Shakespeare found his own voice. Earlier he was writing in the shadow of Marlowe. Next is the third period, that is 1600 to 1608, the period of 8 years. This period is very important because in this period he wrote all the tragedies which are world famous today, and tragedies predominate. So they can ask you a question. So, and romances were there. Romances means, you know, where certain kind of, you know, ungrounded, you know, factual details are less and more imagination is there. All is well that ends well, 1595, this play is famous. But it comes in this period. Measure for Measure, 1604. Measure for Measure. Troilus and Cressida, 1603. Troilus and Cressida with the slightly changed spelling of Cressid was written also by Chaucer. So you must not be confused. That is a poem, this is a drama. And Julius Caesar, it was written in the third period, 1601 it was written. Hamlet, it was written in this period, 1602. And then Macbeth written in 1606. So this period is famous for all these dramas, particularly Hamlet and Macbeth and Julius Caesar. Then comes the fourth period, that is 1608 to 1612. And you all know that this is the ripe period of Shakespeare, where he became so ripe a character, ripe in the sense of characterization. यहाँ पे मुझे आपसे 2-3 बातें और करनी है। शेक्सपियर के बारे में अगर आपसे कोई पूछे, भाई was he a philosopher, किस टाइप का प्ले, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्ले राइट ही वाज, सो यू मस्ट बी अवेयर दैट, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि ना शेक्सपियर को बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेज हम इसलिए करते हैं बिकॉज हिज आर्ट ऑफ कैरेक्टराइजेशन इज वेरी वेरी फेमस। ओके, आर्ट ऑफ कैरेक्टराइजेशन मतलब उसने द काइंड ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स ही हैज क्रिएटेड। जैसे अभी हम रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर के प्लेज की बात करते हैं, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर्स प्लेज, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द अदर प्ले राइट्स, तो आज उनके जो कैरेक्टर्स हैं, दोज कैरेक्टर्स आर नॉट एज्ड इन अवर माइंड्स। द रीजन इज, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको एक मुंबई फिल्म फेस्टिवल में देयर इमर्ज्ड अ पर्टिकुलर टसल बिटवीन टू मेजर, जैसे आपने बर्नार्ड, इनका नाम सुना होगा, गिरीश कर्नाड का। तो गिरीश कर्नाड ने आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि जो हमारे क्या नाम है इनका, रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर है, उनको बड़ा प्ले राइट नहीं माना है। तो अब हम वी आर सच ह्यूमन बींग्स दैट once some name is famous, we get stuck with that name and we consider that if he has written, then he must have written something good. It's okay. Rabindranath Tagore cannot be denied was a good musician, a painter, a dramatist, a poet, but his characterization in his dramas is weak. आज अगर हम कोई भी प्ले पढ़ते हैं, एक्सेप्ट 1 or 2 प्लेज, उनके कैरेक्टर्स जो हैं वो हमारे माइंड में एक इमेज क्रिएट नहीं करते हैं। दैट इफ वी रीड अ कैरेक्टर और इफ वी सी तो बहुत मुश्किल है। एक डायरेक्टर को, अगर सपोज अ डायरेक्टर इज डायरेक्टिंग द प्लेज ऑफ रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर, तो उसको यही समझ नहीं आएगा कि कैसा लहंगा पहना है रानी ने, किस तरह से रानी चलती है, रानी मुस्कुराती कैसे है, रानी की आईब्रोज कैसी है। I'm not saying that Shakespeare has written all these facial details of the characters, but somewhere, जैसे आपने देखा होगा, मोस्ट फेमस कैरेक्टर अगर मैं बात करूं, मुझे याद आता है, अगर हम शेक्सपियर के प्लेस की बात करें तो रोमियो एंड जूलियट में जो नर्स का कैरेक्टर है, तो वो नर्स she gets a place in our memory, she gets a niche in our memory forever, we cannot forget. तो जब भी कोई बड़े कलाकार मशहूर होते हैं तो उनके सबसे उसके पीछे कारण ही यही है. जैसे प्राण साहब का नाम, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट बॉलीवुड, तो जब हम देखते हैं ना कि कोई पर्टिकुलर अमरीश पुरी है, दे जस्ट they delve into that character somewhere, and then they start living that character. So the same thing is same thing is famous for Shakespeare. It is considered, it is said by the critics that Shakespeare is famous. ऐसा कहा जाता है कि Shakespeare was not a philosopher, क्योंकि जरूरी नहीं है कि एक राइटर जो है वो फिलोसोफर हो. राइटर्स होते हैं, राइटर्स आर आर्टिस्ट. कोई जरूरी नहीं है. जैसे अभी हम वी आर टीचर्स एंड वी कीप टीचिंग डिफरेंट राइटर्स. इट डज नॉट मीन, कई बार हमको क्लास में स्टूडेंट कहते हैं सर आप पर्टिकुलर डे यू आर सेइंग समथिंग, नाउ यू आर सेइंग समथिंग. इट मीन्स वी आर नॉट राइटर्स, वी आर ओनली टीचर्स हु आर रीडिंग एंड giving you what is there in the book. It may happen that sometimes we give our opinion in between, and I consider that is something which is natural, कि जब हम लोग पढ़ाने बैठते हैं तो we can give our opinions in between. Okay, so they may ask you this question that for what Shakespeare. जैसे अभी in some of the other lectures I was talking about that जो Leo Tolstoy है, he considered that he is a second rate writer. And second rate writer में he put him with Dickens and all the other writers. Charles Dickens, how can you say that he's a second rate writer? But it is the opinions of different critics. Every person has his or her opinion. Okay, so आपको याद रखना है that Shakespeare is famous for his characterization. Okay, and in this ripe period, that is the fourth period, he has written these plays. Write down: Coriolanus, 1609; Timon of Athens, 1608; Henry VIII, again a very famous play. आपको मैंने बताया था, I told you about that Henry VIII, during this performance of this play, Globe Theatre में it was gutted down, it was burnt. And Pericles, 1608. आप इस लेक्चर को भी अगर ढंग से सुनते हो तो you will be able to remember the names of Shakespearean dramas. The Tempest is a very famous play. In last to last lecture, that full fathom 5 thy father lies, that speech I sang for you. And Winter's Tale, 1611. Okay, now I come to the point that how we should read Shakespeare. How they can ask you a question like Shakespeare को किस तरह से हमें देखना है. Number one, write it down. We should look while we are reading Shakespeare, we should be aware about like what is his outlook on life. What is his outlook on life? First thing. Second thing, his power to portray characters, that I have already discussed. That he was powerful of having an insight into the characters. And third thing is outlook on society. So if we see a particular play from every angle, from feminist criticism point of view, from Marxist point of view, because in today's universities these plays are taught in two different ways. One, like to read a play of Shakespeare means to live like Shakespeare, and second thing, like they can give you a task like do a structuralistic analysis or linguistic analysis of the play, etc., etc. Okay, now let us come. I have decided to read for you some quotations. तो आपको एक काम करना पड़ेगा. आज के लेक्चर में मुझे बहुत सारी कोटेशंस की बात करनी थी, बट मैं अपना लैपी रिचार्ज करना भूल गया हूँ. सो वी कांट टॉक मच अबाउट शेक्सपियर, बट थोड़ा सा मैं आपको 2-3 चीज़ें और बताता हूँ. आप लोग एक बार मेरे ब्लॉग पे जाइए. मेरा ब्लॉग जो है, माई ब्लॉग इज़ ऑन mukeshparik.com. इस पे आप जाइए. आफ्टर द lecture is finished, you can go there. I have uploaded 50 important quotations which are very important, and I think in our next lecture we are going to read these quotations. Number one. Number two, write down certain things which we are going to discuss in the coming times. For example, you should be aware about how many suicides are there in Shakespearean dramas. This can be a question. So write it down. How many suicides are there in Shakespearean dramas? Number one. Number two, you should be aware about that in Romeo and Juliet there is suicide. आप लोग आज रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दे रहे हैं बिल्कुल भी. In Antony and Cleopatra, there are number of suicides. Then in Romeo and Juliet नाम हो गया, and then this Julius Caesar, there are suicides. So there are certain plays where there are so many suicides are there. So they can ask you, like, in which play there is no suicide, or say odd man out, that kind of question they can ask you. One thing. Second thing, the most intelligent heroine. So they can give you a question like, who is the most important. So I give you a task today, that out of the 37 plays, if you write the names of the heroines, Portia belongs to which play. अब जैसे along with Portia there is another a side character, Nerissa. So they can ask you this question. They can ask you a question like, we are familiar with Juliet of Romeo and Juliet. Then which is the other play where the Juliet comes, the character Juliet comes. So that way they can ask you these questions. The most important, intelligent heroine. Then another question, the most cruel queen in all the history plays. The most cruel queen. If you just Google all these things, you will find that there is no other way to cover Shakespeare. Then comes the question that in Shakespeare, we also find that they can ask you, like, how many Shakespearean dramas have epilogues? How many Shakespearean dramas have epilogues? Do you remember any play where the epilogue is there? We are aware about the prologues, that a particular character comes and speak the introductory part. Epilogue means the concluding part. They can ask you, like, in which play there comes a mask. How many of you are aware about the mask? Chalo batao mujhe. I'll wait for your answer. And suppose you don't know, you can ask me, like, what is a mask? In which play of Shakespeare there comes mask? Or Shakespeare shows mask? I'll wait for your answer. In which play Shakespeare shows mask? They can ask you this question. I'm waiting for your answer. Which Shakespearean play has mask? Are you Googling first? Is there any mask in As You Like It? Is there any mask in Macbeth? Is there any mask in Twelfth Night? Is there any mask in Tempest? I've given you options also. Which play of Shakespeare has mask? Why are you not answering? I think I'm unable to see your answers. There must be something wrong with the screen, I think. Okay, then answer is The Tempest. There comes a mask in The Tempest. Then they can ask you a question that, mask by whom? So you should be aware about that the three goddesses in which, they come and, perform the mask in. And that mask is in the magical way, because Prospero is a magician in that play. So there can be a different level of question. I remember one more question. I'm not going to answer so that you be busy throughout the day. There was a question in exam that they gave you 4 plays, history plays, and then they asked you a question that in which play there comes the reference of looting and raping women. Write it down. Loot and rape on the mass level, which Shakespearean play has shown in the name of nationalism looting and raping. Okay, so you should be aware about this question. Next question comes that I remember there are so many questions which directly come to my mind. For example, frailty, thy name is woman. From which play the dialogue has been taken? Frailty, thy name is woman. So you are aware about that. It's from Hamlet. And who says this dialogue? Hamlet says this to her, to his mother. Then there is a providence in the fall of a sparrow. Write it down. There is a providence in the fall of a sparrow. These are world famous dialogues, and I have given you a list of the most famous important 50 dialogues I have given you in the on the blog. My blog is you can go and check my blog. I have uploaded two important things there. You can go to my website www.mukeshparik.com. There is my blog, and two dialogues are there. 50 dialogues on one page, and then the important speech from Henry V. Then let us talk about purple patch today. Write it down. Another thing, I'll be talking about so many things today. I'll be talking about more factual things so that you can solve many questions. Purple patch, PURPLE, purple patch. The winter of discontent. Purple patch अलग से लिख लीजिए. What is purple patch? This is your question today. Purple patch क्या होता है? We should be aware about purple patch. Then another important dialogue I'll be talking about, that you should read today, because in the coming 2 or 3 lectures I'll be touching upon all these things. You should read the famous speech of Shylock, that if you prick, don't we bleed. If you prick us, don't we bleed. The famous speech of Shylock. I'll be reading that speech, whether it takes 1 hour or 2 hours, in the coming few lectures. Okay. The lady protests too much. Yeah, the lady protests much. ये भी एक dialogue है बहुत famous. This dialogue has been taken from Hamlet again. Then comes a question to my mind that they can ask you a question, that which play has pantomime. They can give you a sequence of plays, and then they can ask you like which play has pantomime. So write it down. Pantomime. Pantomime means when characters don't speak dialogues and they silently perform either. Hamlet, the play Hamlet, maximum questions are coming from Hamlet. Hamlet has a pantomime. There is a play within play. We call it Mousetrap. And the murder of Gonzago. Write it down. The name of the actual play performed in Hamlet is The Murder of Gonzago. And in that Murder of Gonzago, which is called a Mousetrap. Mousetrap is also a play written by, you must be aware about, Agatha Christie in the 20th century. So write it down today. You are going to research on all these things if you really want to qualify this exam and crack your JRF. Mousetrap is a technical term given in this play, Hamlet. So there are so many, and the play and the line which I was talking about just a few moments back, there is a providence in the fall of a sparrow. कितने बच्चों को ये इसका मतलब पता है? Here Shakespeare is talking about, he has given this dialogue to Hamlet, जहाँ पे वो ये कहना चाह रहा है कि भगवान की इच्छा के बिना कुछ नहीं होता. Nothing happens without the wish of God, will of God. So there is a providence. Providence means something hidden in the divinity. There is a providence in the fall of a sparrow. अब यहाँ पे वो स्पैरो तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. हमारे यहाँ तो ऐसे बोलता है कि चींटी जो है उसकी जो मौत है वो भी भगवान के ही हाथ में, वही उसको देगा. हमारे मारवाड़ी में एक कहावत है, देयर गोज अ प्रोवर्ब इन अवर मारवाड़ी, दैट हाथी न मण और कीड़ी न कण. मतलब एन एंट हैज हर शेयर, and an elephant, the huge creature, also has a share in this whole universe. So that way Shakespeare does have a philosophy of his own, but that philosophy is not a philosophy of a philosopher, but a philosophy of an artist, a person who has observed life very closely. Okay. And then comes so many different dialogues to my mind, but foul is fair and fair is foul. So they can ask you which literal term is present in that. So this line is the famous line of the Macbeth's witches. Okay. So with this all informations in today's lecture, I take your leave because I could not charge my laptop today. Otherwise, I could have been reading in front of. In the evening, we have a lecture at 8 o'clock on our YouTube. So you should come there on my YouTube channel. And I'll be discussing important things regarding structuralism. That is going to be the last lecture on structuralism today. And tomorrow in the morning lecture, the series of these 3 lectures, I'll be talking about different speeches of Shakespeare, different other characters of which I have already given you hint in today's lecture. and I have already assigned you a homework, like how many suicides are there. And then one more thing which comes to my mind before going, let me impart that also, that they can ask you a question that Leo Tolstoy, who is a great critic in the negative sense, that he did not consider Shakespeare the first-rate writer, which particular play he was reading and he has mentioned. So if you have an answer, you can give me. Otherwise, let me give, because on my screen your answers are not appearing today. King Lear. Leo Tolstoy, when he was reading King Lear, he gave a negative response that he slept when he was reading this play. Then I'll also be talking about that how many plays Shakespeare wrote in collaboration, because that can also be a question which can be asked in our exam, that how many different writers who were writing in collaboration. And then we'll be talking about what T.S. Eliot thinks about one thing which comes to my mind. मैं कहे जा रहा हूँ कि लास्ट पॉइंट है, बट आई एम जस्ट लिंगरिंग, बिकॉज शेक्सपियर राइटर ही ऐसा है, एक टीचर जो पढ़ाने बैठता है तो उसके दिमाग में बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती है. Yesterday I was writing a review of Gulabo Satabo, that recently the movie came, and to my mind one thing came, that is objective correlative. आपको सबको मालूम है T.S. Eliot has talked about objective correlative. इस पे दो क्वेश्चन बनते हैं, that objective correlative was, the phrase was not first time used by T.S. Eliot, it was used by somebody else. So that is a question for you. Go and prepare this, like who talked about objective correlative. And this T.S. Eliot says that Hamlet, which is considered to be the most important play or successful play, and I think the maximum number of books have been written on this play. He declares that T.S. Eliot declares that this play is artistically not a complete one, and artistically it is not a successful play. And there is Shakespeare lacks artistic, symbolic connection, and for which he has used a word like the word I gave you right now. I forgot that word. मेरे दिमाग से ऐसी चीजें स्लिप हो जाती. Objective correlative, yes. Objective correlative mean to say that through symbolicism, Shakespeare is failure. T.S. Eliot says that he is unable to relate the anxiety, that death motive, that existential angst which is in Hamlet. So इस तरह से कई बार typical questions पूछते हैं. एक question psychoanalysis में आता है, that Hamlet is suffering from Oedipus complex. अब Oedipus complex भी सभी बच्चों को पता होना चाहिए. In psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud gave us this term, that when a male child is psychologically unconsciously associated sexually with his mother, that fixation is called Oedipus complex. The word Oedipus complex has come from the story of Sophocles' play Oedipus, where he ultimately unknowingly marries his own mother, Jocasta. Okay, so in which particular essay this has been written, that can be a question. So in the coming 2 or 3 lectures, I'll be talking about different things. Then one more question comes to my mind, that the other day I was talking about that Shakespeare, I think in this lecture I was talking about that Shakespeare wrote about the common masses. Okay, in his mind the kind of audience for which he was writing was mostly the kind of common audience. So his language was not very much refined. Okay, so it is considered that Shakespeare's language was very vulgar. When he used to write in a very abusive language, because common man talks in a very abusive manner. So the question comes that who was that person who in Victorian age removed the vulgarity from the 18 plays of Shakespeare? Write it down. It's a question for you. It's a very famous term. I don't want to give you this term because otherwise you won't do some homework. Which writer in Victorian age removed the vulgar language or obscene language and made it soothing so that it can be read in family? Okay, so family Shakespeare we call it. So that can be a question. Okay, and then comes so many different things, like they can ask you the sequence of the plays. You will be surprised that when we talk about Henry IV and Henry VI, then Henry VI were written first and then Henry IV was written. The sequence of Henry VI comes first and Henry IV comes later. Okay, And then there appears a question like, from for different plays there are different sources for Shakespeare. For example, for the Roman plays, Plautus was the source, and for the history plays, Holinshed's history of Ireland, England, and Scotland, that book was the source. So in this lecture I have covered almost so many things, which makes this lecture factual one. And if you try to re-watch this lecture and try to answer these questions, you will find that they have been asking us questions from these many things. So I cannot move further. Tomorrow I'll come and I will start with I have already uploaded on my blog to 50 dialogues on one post, and one particular speech which is famous for this phrase, band of brothers. So they can ask you this speech like band of brothers. So it comes in Henry V, and then I have already assigned so many other tasks to you, like you should read about the purple patch and all. That's it for today. Thank you very much. Namaskar.